Brad Fite is a former Marine who served in Afghanistan.
I first had the desire to join the military September 11, 2001. When I watched the attacks on America, I wanted to be that symbol of freedom and stand up not only for my country, but for the people who didn't have anyone fighting for them. When I first joined the Marine Corps, I had the plan to stay in for the rest of my life, make a career out of it. From boot camp on, I loved it. I loved everything about it.
In July 2010, an IED detonated under Brad's Humvee, killing a fellow Marine and critically wounding Brad.
My team and I pushed out on a combat operation, and about halfway through our trek home, our up-armored vehicle ran over about a 300-pound roadside bomb. It detonated, and it left me critically wounded. Bottom half of my spine shot through my stomach, top half of my spine pierced into my lung, and it left our gunner mortally wounded.
His heart stopped 3 times on the way to a German hospital.
When I woke up in the hospital after my medevac, I was told, unfortunately, that they did everything they could to keep me alive. They couldn't give me the ability to walk again. When I had found out that Julio was killed and I was alive, physically, I knew I could recover, but I had no idea how to push through mentally.
Brad's wounds would eventually heal. The PTSD was devastating.
I remember sitting in front of my therapist. She looked at me and she told me I had this disorder, and she said that something was wrong with my head. My diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder was just this death sentence.
Doctors also told him that PTSD wasn't curable, only treatable with medication.
One of the first things they tell you is that it's something that you're just gonna have to figure out how to deal with. More than likely, the way of doing that is here, take these pills. And to guys like me, we take those pills and we don't do it because we have this goal of getting better. We have a goal of just numbing everything about what's going on in our lives. My painkillers and my pills stopped working, so I moved from painkillers to harder drugs. I was so overcome and just mentally depleted with guilt and remorse and resent and bitterness and anger that I thought my only option was suicide. I tried killing myself and brutally I failed. It was after my final suicide attempt that I was met face to face with another man who had gone through similar circumstances, and he talked to me about life, brother to brother, warrior to warrior. The man that spoke life into me should have been my arresting officer, and he encouraged me to get help, to live for the sacrifice that my brothers made for me.
Emboldened by his music, his faith, the Mighty Oaks Wounded Warrior program, and his service dog Duke, Brad forged into battle with PTSD.
I made the decision to get clean. I was absolutely terrified of checking myself into a program, so I knew I had to do this on my own. I dumped every drug I had down my toilet, and I slept on my tile floor for 17 days, going through withdrawals. I remember it being the most excruciatingly painful experience of my life. It's only by the grace of God that I came out of that alive. The pains that I experienced in that room built something so fierce inside of me, and it allowed me to engage something that I never knew existed.
But Brad reached deep inside and found the courage and desire to rebuild his life.
We as humans, we are naturally physically limited. We can only lift so much weight. We can only run so far. We can only do so much. When I got to the point of absolute physical exhaustion, I had to dig inside myself and find the courage to never quit.
Brad's perseverance paid off.
Things really started changing. I first time started seeing life in color, how it's meant to be seen. I had previously divorced my wife, who all she wanted to do was care for me. I gave her divorce papers and I chose my drugs. I made the choice to make that right. I started dating my ex-wife, and I eventually remarried her, and we got back together.
Today, Brad is an author, motivational speaker, and accomplished musician.
In September of 2015, I released my book, Life After Death, A Survivor's Story. My life after death was when I came home, getting over post-traumatic stress disorder and talking about post-traumatic growth and the good things that built me into the person that I am right now. The things that I went through didn't destroy me. All of those things built me and they grew me stronger.
Brad founded an organization to help other veterans overcome PTSD through music therapy.
I run a nonprofit called Warrior Song Music Foundation. We take music and we take journaling and we teach songwriting to men and women that have been injured in war. And we teach them that it's okay to hurt, it's okay to feel pain, but all of a sudden, because it's a rock song, it's okay to talk about. We take those moments of pain and we turn those into rock and roll.
Brad was told he'd never be able to have children.
We went to 3 different doctors, and all 3 came back and said that I was incapable of having children. Now we have a 2-year-old boy. I have another boy on the way. Now I got 2. There were moments in my life that I thought I couldn't get through. There was no light at the end of this tunnel. And it was in those moments of darkness that you have to make the purposeful decision. Just push on and push through no matter what. Never quit, always persevere.
3rdNut is proud to celebrate Brad Fite's legacy as a 3rdNut elite ambassador.
There's a grossly underestimated statistic that 22 veterans a day take their lives. But there are so many of us, like myself, that are living proof that there is more to life than just the pains of your past. Be legendary. Earn yours at 3rdNut.com.